All right, this is Marquand Allen, and we are back. You just heard our speaker, Glenn Bloodsaw, and as he mentioned a series of things, my brother is going through something very serious right now, very crucial in his life. And what you saw is like the reality of things that men go through, and that's the benefit of our group. We there for each other. This is, we like a warrior club, help sharpen each other, because we walk through things in life and you never know that day you may step on Glenn's foot and what Glenn's going through is so heavy and that day he can't focus to be what he usually is every day and it explodes. But with a group, we communicate that, we convey that, we get that out, and we help each other stay uplifted. We encourage each other. So, for my speech, before our next speaker, presence. What we're seeing now in the world is the absence of the presence of men. What you're seeing in the world is what happens when everyone lets everything go, when everybody wants everything to be easy, when everybody doesn't want to stand up, work, fight, do whatever. Nobody wants to struggle. We come from a DNA when it comes to being a man, which is if you want things done, you got to get up and get it done. Do it. If you want to eat, you got to go to work. It may not be a physical job, ancient times it was, you got to go get up and hunt. These days we got to get up and work, whether it's for yourself or someone else, whatever. You got to get up and go get it. Because as Glenn mentioned also, people are relying on our responsibility. They're relying on our discipline. They're relying on our focus. And it's not just our children or our significant others. It's a whole world. When you look outside, if you see things are in disarray and things are horrible and they're heinous, that's because good men aren't doing anything. That's because we're not stepping up and making our presence felt. It is, a man doesn't operate off fear. We all get touched with fear. Whether you're the best at a sport or the best as a warrior, we all get touched with fear, but we're supposed to use that as a driving force to keep building and do something better. Man's obligation is either to build or destroy. If you look outside, a lot of things are being destroyed. A lot of things are destroyed. And, we're living in a time where people just don't want to do anything. As long as it's not affecting me, as long as it's not bothering me. But what's happened in the world is that all those things that you put your head down and put blinders onto is coming right up in our face. It's coming right to your doorstep. It's coming right in your home. It's sitting on your couch with your children, or it's coming through the TV to your significant other. It's right in our face. So you can't run. You can't just say if it doesn't affect me. Nah. For every person in the world, we're obligated to, because I never know who's paying attention to me. I never know who's watching my communication. I never know who's watching my work ethic. I never know who's paying attention to how I help someone or speak to someone or say someone. That's how we got to keep things going better. What we witness and live in the world today is how things are worse due to us not acting. A man gets up and acts. A man gets up and does. A man says his word and he does what he says he's going to do. The outcome sometimes may not be good, may have mistakes, as I mentioned before, may have struggle, may have pain, but our execution has to be done. And we're living in a time where there's lack of that. Everyone wants to sit back, have everything comfortable and quiet, safe. I get it. We all get tired. We all get weary. But at the end of the day, take that moment, identify what you're feeling, what you're going through, then we gotta move. And that's what we do with the SitRo group. We help each other move. We help each other get through those struggling times. We help each other, we give each other insight or another way to look at things that we may be going through in life. We also there for each other, at the end of all be all, whether it's, no matter what it is, you just need a sounding board sometimes. Because even if we were in ancient times when we were all soldiers, we'd all be sitting down, eating together, planning what we gotta do, waiting for what we gotta set up, waiting for the general or the head or the king to tell us, hey, we gotta move here, or waiting for that strategist to come in and tell us, hey, we all gotta link up together so we can move here and get the goal accomplished. So that's what's happening here with this group. So I'm going to bring on our next speaker, which is Brother Mark Hopkins, pardon me. He is an author. I met this brother at a Juneteenth event. We hit it off, and I Juneteenth is in the name, it was in June, and I already knew then that I was putting together this today. So I want everyone to welcome Brother Mark Hopkins.
I'm gonna use the stand here. For anybody that don't know, again, it's a tool. It's a tool. It's a tool. Actually, it's a tool I use a lot on the job as well. And one thing about tools, and I think I said this on a post not too long ago. So one thing about tools, if you're using the right tool, you can get the job done. It takes the right tool to get the job done. And that's what we're giving away today. Some tools tools for life, tools for life. You know, we all need tools. You know, there was a time when I was out in California. I was working for a company, and actually I was left the company, and they were like, I talked to one of the foreman, and he says, send back all the tools that you had. I had to buy some tools for this job. He said, send back all the tools that you had, and we'll give you the money back for your tools. See, and at that time, I was probably about 26 or 27 years old. And I had enough sense to realize when he said, send me back all the tools, and I'll send you the check, your money that you paid for the tools. I had enough, even at 27 years old, I had enough sense to realize, to tell him, no, you keep the check. I'm gonna keep the tools. You keep the check. I'm gonna keep the tools. Because with tools, when you have the right tools, you can demand things that you need. You can get things done. You can go into places that if someone else don't have the tool, you can grab access, be made access, because you have the right tools. And that's what we're giving away today. Again, my name is Mark Hopkins. Mark Hopkins, you know, I'm a pastor. I have been ordained a pastor. I don't have a church. I'm not over a church. I am an author. My book is What's Stopping You? What's Stopping You? My book is What's Stopping You. God gave me the ability to bring that forward. You know, I'm a technician by trade. See, and also, you know, and I do speaking as well. I'm ex-Marine and Army, so I am a veteran. So, but today, you know, first of all, I just want to say thanks again to Fight for Your Life, Marquain Allen, for putting this together. You know, let's give him a hand. You know, for him putting this thing together, because this is what we need. This is what men need. You know, this is something that I needed when I was young. You know, someone to pass down the tools that you need. I'm going to touch a little bit about what's stopping you. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of it, but I'm just going to touch a little bit on chapter 1 of the book. And the chapter 1 of the book the title is, Who Are You? Who are you? It's just a simple question. Who are you? You know, that's a question that we need to know the answer to in order to do anything in life. You know, if we want to go to that next step, if you want to go to the next height or whatever destiny that you're calling for, you got to figure out who are you. Who are you? What's your character? I'm going to talk about character. I'm talking about who are you? Are you the type of person that when a person says you can't do this, do you take and say, no, I can do this. I will do this. Or are you that person that when somebody gives you that negative comments, negativeness, feed you negativeness, saying that you're not strong enough. No, you're not able to do it. No, you don't have the knowledge. You don't have the ability. No, somebody else deserves to do this instead of you. Who are you that person that says, no, I'm not going to feed into that? No, you tell me, who am I? I can't do it. I'm going to show you that I will. And the first thing I'm going to talk to is your character. Character. That's one of the biggest things that we need to be able to answer. Who are you? Are you a man of good character? Or are you a man of bad character? You know, which one are you? You know, are you looking to do the things the right way? Can someone depend on you? You know, are you that person that when you're on a job and the boss or the manager goes away that you're going to give 150% and continue to do the job the correct way? Are you going to go 110%? Not because you're on this job. No, it's because of who I am. Who I am. When I do things, I put 150% in it. I want it done right. You know, I want to do the right things. I want to do the right things. You know, are you that person that want to do the right thing? You know, when we start talking about good character, how do you get good character? I'm going to go over a couple of things that we need in order to get good character. One, you know, we all want to go through resistance. You know, you look at, bodybuilders, you know, weightlifters, runners, you know, ex-military, military. There's resistance in every part of our life. We all need resistance. We need resistance to grow. Sometimes you come upon resistance in your life, you know, good or bad. Sometimes that resistance is not good. See, but you still got to go through it. And once you go through it, you'll come out on the other side better. But you got to go through the resistance. You know, even a baby come out. Resistance training. Get up and try to walk and fall and walk and fall. See, but that resistance that baby is going through, picking itself up, falling, picking itself up, falling, working his legs, working her legs, picking her arm, using her arms to pick herself up. That's resistance. What is resistance? Resistance is a force. Resistance is a force, any type of force that stops forward movement. Any type of force. I'm an electronic technician. I deal with microwave radio. I deal with base station radio. I deal with computers. I deal with cables and landlines and AC and DC power. I deal with a lot of that. But in that field, I even test cables, RF frequencies, radio frequency. See, but through those cables, you have something that goes through, which is the frequency. See, but there's resistance. What kind of resistance is in that cable that's stopping that frequency or that signal to move through the cable aimlessly to get to where it's supposed to go? There's resistance a bent cable, broken cables, crunch cables, stop the flow from going through. See, but we have resistance, and we need resistance in our body. We need resistance. We need to be able to go through something. We need to be able to go through something. We talk about men's mentality. We talk about what we're going through. You know, what the tools that you need in life to grow. These tools that you need in life to survive. You know, there was a time, character is a great tool. And I'm not talking about any type of character. You got to have good character. How do you get good character? You have to practice, be diligent. Be diligent about doing things the right way. Practice doing things the right way. Practice. Sometimes people come to you and try to get you to do things the wrong way. But no, you have to be diligent. You have to be able to stand firm. You have to be able to stand strong and say, no, that's not me. I'm building my character. Building your character is like building your home, building a foundation in your life. You can build good character in your life. You can work on a job for 25 years, putting out good character, doing everything the right way. But then one day, in 2 seconds, you make the wrong decision. And all that work you've done, building your character, building your strength, building the man that you are, building that secure, that strong foundation that you have within yourself, because you made the wrong decision. In 1 second, your whole foundation has been destroyed. In 1 second, because you would let yourself off guard, you didn't think ahead, you didn't stop before you made the decision to move. You didn't, like there was a manager that said to us one day. There was a manager that said, you know, I don't leave. And this is a manager that was working in a multi-billion-dollar company. He said, I do not leave anything to chance. I do not leave anything to chance. And he was talking to us. I said, what? You know, I'm one of those people. If I got a question, I'm going to ask. I said, okay, so what do you mean you don't leave anything to chance? You don't leave anything to chance. You don't just let something happen. You know, you check things out. You do your due diligence before you're making your decision. Do your due diligence. Check everything out. Look at the good and look at the bad before you make your decision. A lot of times, before you even make your decision, if you don't leave things to chance, you can have the problem figured out before you even get to your solution. Problems that come your way, you can have them already taken care of. You can have them already, solutions already set in place, things already set in stone, because you didn't leave things to chance and you were thinking so far ahead. And that's one thing about us. We always say, hindsight is 20/20. Let's stop saying hindsight is 20/20. Let's start looking at the foresight. How can we do things and not leave things to chance? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? We do the right things. Do the right things. That's one way of building up your character. Do the right things. Like I said, be intentional every day to do the right thing. If you don't know what the right thing is, then you should not move. Maybe you should talk to a higher support. There was a time I was on a job. I was out in California working for a company, another billion-dollar company. They were flying us through the country. And I was new on the job. And I'm working with a guy that had 14 years. I'm new. I probably been there 3, 4 months, 5 months. And he comes to me and we work night, you know, flying Salt Lake City, I think we were in Salt Lake City doing some work. And he said, okay, we'll put down 4 hours overtime. Red flag start buzzing in my ear, in my head. I'm like, we didn't work no 4 hours overtime. Why did he want me to put down 4 hours overtime? Are we gonna do the right thing? You know, I'm working with this guy. He's training me. He's a person of authority. I'm new to the company. I don't want to be on bad terms. I don't want to be on his bad terms. What did I do? I saw higher authority talked about. I ended up having to put nothing in. I think we had an hour overtime, but I took nothing. I lost an hour. I gave the hour away. Gave the hour away. Because that allows me, if I'm leaning on the side of caution, I'm leaning on the side of caution. I'm moving on the side of caution. If they want to give me, they find out I worked another hour and I didn't put it in, they'll give it to me. But if I work 4 hours, if I put 4 hours in and they find out I only work 1, I'm fired. Do the right things. Do the right things. Be intentional about doing the right things. Another thing that you want to do to get your character. I'm gonna try to speed up a little bit. Another thing that you need to do to get strong foundation, strong character. When you make a mistake, own up to it. Own up to it. Own up to it. That's the thing that God said, those that I make free are free indeed. See, when you own up to something, you free yourself from anything that comes to you. When you don't own up to it and you try to move around it and you try to hide it and you try to do everything, that's when you destroy that character that you've been working on for years, and then you find yourself, you've been working on your character for years, but because you did one thing that wasn't even that bad, but you thought it was that bad and you didn't own up to it. Now it destroys your character. Now it destroys your character. Own up to it. Get a clean slate. I made the mistake. I did that. I did this. I thought I was doing it this way, and I thought it was going to go this way, but no, I went the wrong way. I did that. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And one more thing that I'm going to say is be consistent. Be deliberate. Be consistent. Don't compromise. Don't compromise. Don't compromise. Because that day when you compromise will be that day when somebody comes back to you and say your character is flawed because you compromised with something else. Your character is flawed. Take responsibilities. Make usable mistakes. You know, and I'm going back to that mistake. I had a dream one day, and a man in my dream said, he only said one word. You know, God talks to me in my dream. He said, and he said it with authority. He said, I make usable mistakes. usable mistake. That woke me up. It woke me up my dream. I'm like, Lord, what is a usable mistake? He said he make usable mistakes. That kept me up, broke me up on my mind all week, trying to figure out, Lord, what's a usable mistake? See, but one, we all are usable. Whenever we make mistakes, God is there. We making usable mistakes. Those mistakes that you've made in the past can be the catapult that brings somebody else out in the future. Those mistakes that you made in the past. See, but when you get real good and you get to a point where your mistakes that you're making are usable, then that means you've been doing a lot of planning. You've been doing a lot of preparation. You've been doing a lot of digging. Your mind is focused on one thing. Your mind is so involved in what you're doing, that thing that you're trying to accomplish. But the mistake that you made, it doesn't affect what you're doing because it's a part of what you're doing. And then even that mistake may end up coming out to be a usable mistake. It may end up making you a multi-billionaire because it's a usable mistake. So let's get to the point where we're going to make mistakes. Get in your mind. That means you got to be doing something productive. If you're doing something productive at all times, we're all going to make mistakes. But if you're doing something productive at all times, the mistakes that you make will be usable. What kind of character do you have? What is your character?